I like to claim that I have the largest and most unique collection of TikTok crocodile figures in the US. Now, just because I like to claim it doesn't mean that it's true, but I've yet to be challenged on this. Hello! Today we're looking at my Tokyo Disney Resort exclusive TikTok crocodile items and making a drink that I'm calling the Clocktail. For this drink, you will need pineapple juice, a melon liqueur, coconut rum, blue curacao, a banana, some plastic swords, and a white rum. And while I don't normally promote specific brands, it wouldn't be the TikTok crocodile without a little bit of the captain inside of it. In a shaker with ice, pour in a ½ ounce of melon liqueur, a ½ ounce of coconut rum, 3 ounces of pineapple juice, and shake to chill, then pour it over some ice. In that same shaker, with whatever ice remains, add a ¼ ounce of blue curacao, a ½ ounce of melon liqueur, an ounce and a half of that Captain White rum, and then an ounce of pineapple juice. Shake it up to mix, and then slowly pour that on top, and it should layer just fine without the use of a spoon. Now, since it's layered, you could stick in a straw to drink it from the bottom to the top so it'll get more potent as it goes, or you could sip from the top where it's a little more potent and it'll get sweeter as it goes, or you could mix it together until it turns a tempting green. Either way, let's get that garnish going. Take a banana, making sure that it's clean, and cut out a nice thick cross section, leaving that peel on. Poke 2 plastic swords through diagonally, crossing them in the center. I'm using yellow ones to represent the bells on the clock, but a green one and a red one would also work well for Peter and Hook. Then cut a notch through the bottom until you reach the swords. Stick that on the edge of the glass, and enjoy. Cheers! I first saw Disney's Peter Pan when I was somewhere around a year old. While I was too young to comprehend everything, I knew one thing for sure, that the TikTok crocodile is one of the most perfect creatures I had ever seen. My love for the crocodile led to dinosaurs and turtles, which led to Jurassic Park and Gamera, which led to Godzilla, and here we are. Some of these I received as a kid, others I've purchased as recently as last month, and as of the recording of this video, there are 2 more in transit. I have TikTok crocodiles from around the world, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Croatia, but the ones we're looking at today all come from Japan. Aside from the little blind box one, I don't know how much any of these retailed for, and honestly, I don't want to think about it considering how much I paid to import some of them, ever so much more than 20. This first one is from Volume 3 of the Disney Secret Collection, and I want you to take a moment and think about how generic those search terms are, even in quotes. These were sold in blind boxes featuring 8 characters, one of whom was a Chase, whose identity is still a mystery to me. I picked up a bunch of boxes at Tokyo Disney the summer of 2016 for around 500 yen a piece, but ended up with Gus, Marie, Miss Bunny, and then some duplicates. It took me a little over 6 years, but I was finally able to track one of these down on Mercari Japan. So what even is it? A hard little figure cut in at a right angle that allows it to perch on top of a phone or other device, and can be held in place thanks to this little sticky part here. It's not my typical style, and is definitely an outlier in the collection because of that, but this was one figure I was not going to give up on. While my very first TikTok crocodile was a stuffed animal, and I've owned many plush over the years, I have since gotten rid of most of them due to their large size and the fact that my cat loves to chew on them. But not these! These are small enough to fit on my shelves with the rest, and they're definitely worth owning. Maybe not this first one. If I'm being honest, this one looked better in the photos. It was available at Tokyo Disney just a few months after I left, of course. But this one wound up on Mandarake years later. I was gonna say that had I seen it in person, I probably would not have bought it, but who am I kidding? This one has a plastic clock face permanently attached to the back of the throat, and the poor fella just looks uncomfortable. I'm not a fan of the way the mouth was designed and warped to fit around the clock, but I do have the second one to the right that more than makes up for it. This one may be my absolute favorite of every plush TikTok croc I've ever owned, and I've had a lot over the years. Well, it's definitely in the top 5 for sure. I love the proportions on this, and I love the little clock just sewn on there. I'm thinking this one was a more mainstream release, as instead of a Tokyo Disney specific tag, it's part of the Takara Tomy Arts 110th Anniversary Disney Beans collection. While setting these next to each other, I noticed that the clocks show the same time, around 1:50. I wasn't sure if this was just coincidence or reference to something in the film. The only specific time I could recall from the film was somewhere around 8:05 when Peter and the Darling children land on the hands of the Big Ben clock. But the book does mention the time being 1:30 after the demise of Hook, which I guess is a little closer. Upon further digging, I've come to the conclusion that this is just a standard look of the hands at 10 and 2. If you have a more interesting theory, I would love to hear it. And finally, no Japanese figure collection would be complete without a vinyl figure, and this is no exception. This vinyl finger puppet came individually packed and was released alongside the rest of the main cast. I wasn't able to find one still in the package, but I'm just happy to have found one at all. Being released in the fall of 2016, it's one of the most recent TikTok figures that represents the original design, and not the young Tinkerbell version or the Jake and the Neverland Pirates version, although I do have some of those. Like I said, I've got a sizable collection, and I'm open to showing those off with maybe some other Peter Pan drinks if there's enough interest. I would love to see your TikTok Crocodile collections, for those who have some. Send me some photos on Instagram or something. In the meantime, thanks for watching, good luck on your own toy hunts, never smile at a crocodile, and please drink responsibly. Also, special shout out to my parents for going through some photo albums last minute to find some of these awesome pictures for me.